All right, so we're meeting every day, Monday through Thursday. Thursday, right? And this is Thursday. And we changed it to, this is West Village H108, right? This is me, Jose Anunciado. That's my email, and that's my personal phone number. Don't give it out, please. That is the best way of getting a hold of me. Text me, call me. Don't hesitate if you're running into, if you're blocked and you need help. We can schedule a later time to meet, perhaps on Google Hangout. But please, just let me know. I might be on the phone maybe with another student, right? So just leave me a message, and I'll get back to you. So the course goals is to introduce you to some of the more modern technologies for developing online applications. In particular, we're going to be looking at React and Angular. I think those are two of the leading technologies out there. A lot of jobs out there looking for folks who develop in these two technologies. Angular was the leading for many years, and React has overtaken Angular in popularity. Nevertheless, there's a lot of folks that still are developing in Angular. It'll be here for quite a while. And so we'll introduce you to those. We'll be building applications, not websites, right? We're not creating static HTML pages. We're looking for an application that could very well be a desktop application, but it happens to be running on the web, okay? And taking advantages of that. That it's deployed on a remote server. That there's a once you update the application, it updates for everybody, right? But it could be just a desktop application. It just happens to be using web technologies for rendering, to access data sources, to connect to networks and whatnot. So it's web applications. We're building web applications. There'll be about 6 assignments, it's a very ambitious schedule, since typically this course is taught in 4 months, along 4 months. Now we're trying to do the same content in half that time, right? So if you see these assignments, typically you would have 2 weeks to complete them. So you try to complete the same amount of work, but in half the time. So it's very challenging. Please, stay on top of it. Don't blink, right? It'll just pass you by. Please, be on top of it all the way through. So 6 assignments, and so the course is built around the philosophy that there's 3 steps to learn something. First, you see someone do something. You're just a spectator, right? You're a passive spectator. You're looking at somebody do something. And then the next step is that we kind of do it together, where you do a little bit, I do a little bit, and we're working together. And then the third step is that you go do it. I just look, I just criticize you or give you pointers from afar, right? So I do it. Then we do it together, and then you go and do it yourself, right? So the assignments, well, the lectures is the first part of that step, right? You'll see me build something, right? And as we're going to be working on a project all the way through the semester, and in the lectures you'll see me start working and solving some of that assignment, right? I'll get you maybe a third of the way through the assignment, and once you've saw me apply some of those techniques here in class, also recorded on video. So if you want to look at it later time, you'll be expected to try to finish what we started in class, right? We'll talk about it the next class, and then you're going and trying to finish it, and there'll be a conversation as we complete the assignment together, right? And then the third part would be that. You choose a project of your own, right? And you would be expected to apply exactly what we've done in class to a project of your choosing, right? Typically it would be of the same complexity, using the same technologies, the same best practices, the same techniques that we saw in class. You'll be expected to complete a project on your own as a final project. So that's the assignment. So the assignment is the first two steps. Is me doing something, then you trying to do it on your own. What we started in class, and the team project is you doing it on your own. A team project is 3 members per team. So what we're going to do in Blackboard, we'll create teams, and then you need to join a team. Okay. Make sure that if you're joining a team, that's the team that you want to join. Discuss it amongst yourself, right? And so once you have identified who wants to be in a team, then join that team in Blackboard. Okay. It then becomes very, very cumbersome having to, somebody had to leave a team and join another team. It just becomes a hassle. Evaluation, there's 6 steps of evaluation. There's 6 assignments. All these assignments are all built on each other, but they are designed to somewhat be independent somewhat, okay? So that even if you haven't completed entirely the previous step, you should be able to go forward nevertheless, okay? And it's really split into 3 pieces. Those 6 assignments are split into 3 pieces, and they're split by technology that we're going to be using. Right, the first one that's going to go out today is mostly focusing on having a Java backend, hosting a web server, and hosting also a RESTful endpoint with a MySQL database. And the front end is jQuery. So that will be the first one. That also will be, let us spend some time setting up the environment, making sure that things are running on a remote server. So that's going to be the focus of that first part. The other 2 parts is the big parts, is 3 assignments and 3 assignments. And it'll be, there'll be a React part of it, right, where you'll be implementing a big part of the project that we're building together using React, and the other last couple assignments will be in Angular, right? So the split more or less split on the by technology. There'll be around 6 quizzes. So every week there'll be a quiz. So typically it'll be at the end, at the beginning of the week. So I expect Monday there'll be a quiz, and it'll always be about what we covered the previous week, right? So if you ever ask me on Piazza what's the quiz on, it'll be on whatever we covered the week before. Okay, that'll be the default answer. The project is 40%, although it's split. The project has little pieces of it that are spread over the entire semester that you're asked to provide a description or proposal of the project, then a design, then a proof of concept, then a prototype, an actual prototype of this working, right? And the last couple of weeks, which typically would be 4 weeks instead of 2 weeks, would be for you to just finish off and implement, right? Whatever it is that you would be prototyping. And the idea of this step is all these intermediate steps is for you not to let it all to the end of the semester. A lot of folks tend to do this. They leave it for the last minute, and you just can't really provide any quality leaving it towards the end. So you're asked to have all these intermediate steps, but the big part of it will be the actual implementation. Yes, and then there'll be a cumulative final at the end of the semester, and it'll be typically all these quizzes and these finals are fill in the blanks, and a lot of them are snippets of code that you need to complete. That tests your syntax, that you understand, what is that types of arguments, what is that, how do you format different things and different aspects. So typically you'll get the grading right away, right? Quizzes and final. Then you have final grades. This is what we'll be using for your letter grades. Makeup policy. So typically we'll each assignment it will have a bonus aspect to it, right? So we won't have makeup policies or anything like that. If you miss something, you missed it. If you want to make something up, you can always go back to the bonuses sections of an assignment, right? So if you think you need a little more to make up some grade or whatnot, you can always go back and finish up the bonuses for a particular assignment. And those bonuses you can do anytime, right? As long as right before the submission of the project, you can complete the bonuses at any time. Okay. Also, so late policies typically is whatever the due date is. Any hour that you are late, right? You'll be deducted 1 percentage point, right, of whatever your final score is. So if you're late 10 hours, then you'll be deducted 10 points. Okay. Obviously, if you're late 100 hours, then you have no points. If you have a legitimate reason why you're going to miss something, we can negotiate, right? If there's something that we need to look at, that will be one-on-one basis, right? Okay, so the assignments, the submissions will be on Blackboard, but really all the work will be hosted on or provided as GitHub repositories. Okay, so every week for the assignment, you'll create a GitHub release, the GitHub.com release, and you'll provide the link to that release. Okay, so what you're going to be submitting on Blackboard is a link to your repository, right, where your release is, right, and each release will have a unique name. It'll be assignment 1, assignment 2, assignment 3, so the TAs, when they, myself, when they see your submission, we should just have a link. We click on it, and that brings you right to your repository where your release was. Okay. Now, typically, we've gone by the release date of the release on GitHub, as opposed to the release on Blackboard, but to consider late policy. But it's just so much extra work for the TA to find out if something is late or not. So this semester we're going to try and make it a little bit easier for the TAs, and we're going to go by the submission time on Blackboard, right? So whenever you submit on Blackboard, that's the submission, right? So oftentimes there's a discussion and say, well, no, but I created the release on time. It's just that I never submitted on Blackboard. Okay, please submit on Blackboard on time. All right, it's just a URL. You just have to copy the URL and paste it in Blackboard and just submit. Okay. Also, so this means that in the assignments repository, you'll end up with 6 or 7 releases. As many assignments as there are. You won't be creating a new repository per assignment. Okay, it'll just be one repository, one assignment repository, and there'll be 5, 6, 7 releases. Yes? All right. You also won't be creating a separate directory per assignment. Okay, that's why we have source control, right? Once you've made the release of assignment 1, you can keep going and start working on assignment 2, right? Without being worried about overwriting assignment 1, right? There's no such thing on source control as overwriting. Well, unless you explicitly blow away your history or somehow, right? All right. So don't be concerned that once you've completed assignment 1, you can just keep going on assignment 2. All right. So the TAs will look at your release. They'll check out your repository at that release. They'll build it locally on their machines, and they'll grade the content of that release on GitHub. Yes. Let's see what else. Also, the assignment, you're meant to work on the assignments on your own. Okay? And I'm going to make all my source code that we work on in the lectures, I'll make that available online in a repository. You'll be able to clone that down and use it so you're free to use all my content as much as you want, right? Do not use anybody else's code, right? It's okay if you're using maybe a library that you found somewhere, right? And if you have, please make a note of it, reference and give credit to who you're using that. Certainly none of your colleagues. Do not look at anybody else's repository. Even past repositories from previous semesters, do not go looking for anybody else's repository. The TAs are pretty good at identifying work from previous semesters. Probably they've been in that semester, right? They know what everybody else has been working on. So please do not copy from it. And if you're not sure if you are committing plagiarism or not, ask, right? Project, again, it's a large crowd, so we are pleased going to ask everybody to form groups of 3 for the project, teams of 3. Maybe there'll be an exception here and there, but the common for the default I would like is to have everybody be in a group of 3. Okay, larger than 3, I think it becomes harder to manage. So groups of 3. Schedule. Okay, so let's look at the schedule. Title 9. All right. Any questions? Yes. It'll be the last day of class. So it'll be that very last Thursday that we meet. Yeah. It'll be the whole hour and a half. Is it? Okay. Thanks. Wow, that late, huh? Wow. All right, so let's look at the agenda.